Alright, what's up YouTube? This is Brian here with Finn's Property Maintenance out of Andrews, South Carolina. And what we're going to do today here, we got a logging deck over here that we're going to be just kind of mowing down, you know, busting up whatever big stuff may be in there that's rotten enough. But just cleaning it up, doing some brush mowing. Want to introduce you to myself. I'm a rookie at videoing myself. If I said I wasn't nervous right now or felt a little goofy on camera, I'd be telling a lie. But I want to go over my machine, just kind of introduce you to what I'm using, some of the modifications I've done to it that kind of help with brush mowing, doing site work, doing stuff in the woods. It's a Bobcat T595. This is my first machine, fairly new to skid steers. I've had it for about a year, so I'm not a total rookie, but I'm not an expert by any means. Also not an expert cameraman, as you'll probably be able to tell here, and made my first rookie mistake. Left the house without the GoPro, so I won't be able to bring you guys in for some footage right there on the machine, but I'm going to set the camera up in tripod and just kind of do some footage of me mowing and maybe do a time lapse. But anyway, I'm going to walk you around my machine and kind of show you what I got, show you what I've done. So this is a T595 2018. It is a standard flow single speed, and one of the things that I've done here to this machine to kind of help with the mowing aspect of it, Bobcat has these little kind of chintzy louver vents here. They're plastic from the factory. When I bought the machine, bought it used, it had about 1,400 hours on it, and one of these was broken, and I like my stuff to look good, look new. So they sell, I got to looking around, and, I was going to make something to go there, but Bobcat actually sells a side louver kit. Forget the price of it, but they're black. I painted orange, just give a little contrast. But these are metal. They hold up very well. They blow air up to help keep debris out. I don't know how much that really helps, but the main thing is they're metal, and they you don't have to worry about a stick jabbing through there and breaking it all up. And bring you up here on top, and this is another thing I built here. It's kind of a pyramid deal over the screen. One of the big things about mowing, whether you're mulching or mowing, bush hogging, whatever, working underneath trees and around stuff, this area gets packed. It gets packed with leaves, chips, sticks, whatever, and it'll cause the machine to overheat faster than normal. So what I did is I built this. Of course, I've got this little nut here. I got two on the back. This is a stud that sticks up through, and those two are two nuts that are, I just drilled holes in there, welded two nuts on there, and I can take this off fairly easily, or I didn't build it too high. You can remove this. It's a little bit heavier and cumbersome with this on here, but you can remove this screen with that on there, or take it off, because you still get fines down here on the inside, but you don't get all the big stuff in there, and it sheds, and you can run a lot longer. I added this seal here, and I also added one along the back of the cab. This prevents some stuff. There was a little gap there. You guys who have these machines would know, but I added that. This really helps keeping stuff from getting down behind the cab into the belly of the machine. Whenever you're doing work, forestry work or anything like that, of course they sell forestry kits. This is a smaller machine. You typically don't see it on these, but getting material down in the belly of the machine, it just adds to the risk of fire, and that really helps. And that's not glued in or anything. Whenever I raise the cab, it'll fall out, and then I just once I get done cleaning under there, stuff still makes its way in there, but not near as much. I just kind of shove it back down in there, and it really helps. Come around to the back of the machine. I added this one here as well. Helps some stuff, it would just kind of roll down in here, but this helps. Anything helps, keeping the machine clean, keeping debris out of it. And I'm a stickler. I mean, I get down in there and I'll vacuum all down in here, and I'll suck stuff out underneath the fuel tank, and I just try to keep it clean. I like my stuff clean, looking nice. and it also helps with maintenance. So I added a camera here. Had to make this little bracket deal to put the camera on. You know, you can put them up here, or I think that, you know, put it up there, but I like it a lot better right there. I need to put my backup alarm in there. I took that out. It's kind of annoying. Probably should have it in there for safety reasons, but I figured, what the heck, you know, a lot of guys do commercial work, they got tractors and whatnot, they don't have backup alarms, neither do mowers and stuff. But if I get into doing a lot of residential stuff, you know, where there's people around, I'll be putting that alarm back in. And I also added the LED light package to it. It really helps. You know, those factory lights suck, and I got my windows tinted, and at nighttime those LED lights, they really help. I added the bumper down here, and you still back into stuff. You guys with skid steers, you know, you back into stuff, especially if you're in the woods. You know, you're front and back, and you're going to smash into something. This helps kind of cushion that blow. Doesn't really tear the trees up that you want to leave that bad. And it kind of keeps stuff from getting all over this tailgate and beating it up too bad, which of course you can see that, you know, it still gets some beating to it. But come around here, I added, of course you can see I got the windows tinted. I got 27% on the sides and 20% on the door. We're going to talk about that door in a minute. Not real happy with it. Maybe you guys have some suggestions, but I did add some LED lights to the top. Wiring's kind of a mess up there, guys, but it gets the job done. But these lights on the side, they really help. I mean, it's almost a necessity in the dark. And I try not to do a whole lot in the dark, but sometimes you're trying to finish up a job, you know, you don't want to come back the next day, and you know, having that extra 20-30 minutes where you can run and finish something up and not destroy everything around you, because you really can't see out of the side of these things, especially at dark. Here's the door. Not sure how well the camera picks it up, but it's a Lexan door, and you can see the tint. It looks pretty bad. It's bubbled up all over the place. That's not the thick Lexan door. That's like a 3/8, I believe. So it's not the big boy, but it is shatterproof. I've had some stuff hit it. Of course, you know, if you run the mower correctly, like you should, you don't have a lot of stuff coming back there, but it's inevitable. Stuff's going to hit that door. I see a lot of guys running brush mowers without doors on them, and that's not for me. I can't do that. But yeah, if you guys got any suggestions for tinting Lexan, I'd love to hear it. It looks terrible. You can't tell it from the inside of the machine, so I'm going to leave it on there. You know, I thought about peeling it off, but it does help, especially when it's real hot in the summertime. It helps keep it cool, and you know, helps cut down on the glare on the inside, but it just looks like garbage out here. Of course, I got the LED lights there on the headlights. Really makes a big difference, that light bar up there. And I'm pretty surprised. That's an old Tractor Supply light bar there, and she's taking a beating. I've had, you know, trees hit it and everything else, and it's kind of bent up on the back, but I did break one of the mounts and had to order some new mounts for it, but you know, it comes with it. I could buy the light kit from Bobcat, but they want an arm and leg for that, and that's held up pretty well. Now the cutter. This is from Rut Manufacturing. It is the Terminator model, 72 inch. This is standard flow machine, and I got the gearbox upgrade on it. So there's a big heavy duty gearbox in there, and it you know, helps with the lower flow machines, really helps get the blade speed up, and it's done well. This cutter does more than I want it to do. You know, I find myself cutting down 10-12 inch trees when probably really shouldn't do that, but it handles it well. It does, and the machine handles it well. Surprisingly, if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably go with a 60 inch just for weight. This thing is pretty heavy, gets pretty tippy when you raise it up in the air, but you know, I'm happy with it. Got a big double blade carrier in there, thick steel there. 3 blades. These blades have, I don't know, 75 hours tops on them. And they got some wear there. You know, the biggest thing is this tip being rounded. I know it does a much better job. I can reverse the flow on it, but not quite ready to do that. It's still doing an adequate job, but you get brand new blades, get this new side going, and she really will tear some stuff up quick. The only drawback to this that I kind of don't like, and I'm a little bit dissatisfied, is you can't use this for a bush hog, just mowing grass. You know, if you got a field with tall ryegrass or something like that and you just want to go out and mow it, this is not the mower for you. This is a brush cutter, and it's a brush cutter. Now it will cut grass, but it just, with those short blades and that big blade carrier, it tends to just want to bog the machine down. It can't really kick it out real good, and it's just not designed for that. A few things I don't like. This is my first skid steer. Love the Bobcat machine. You know, it's very comfortable to run, very easy to run. I'm gonna take you in the cab in a minute, but my biggest complaints is, one, I don't like the door. I do like the Kubota style door that flips up over top of you, because I do some residential grading here and there, and you know, when you're working with a spotter or with people, or you know, you kind of want to be able to talk to them and not have a door on there. Being able to raise it up over your head's nice. Plus, it's a pain to get out of. If you don't have those arms all the way down, your door hits those cylinders and you can't get out, and that's kind of aggravating. You know, I get it. They don't want you getting out with the loader arms up in the air, but you know, if you bog the front of the machine down and you get stuck and you can't get the loader arms all the way down, and I mean, you're kind of screwed there. But fortunately for me, I haven't done that yet. I have gotten it stuck, but haven't necessarily gotten trapped in there. But I wish they would go to an overhead style door. But anyway, the other thing that I noticed on this, now I put new tracks on it and new sprockets. They weren't worn out, but it had narrow tracks on it. I wanted the wide track, so I ordered these tracks. Put wide tracks on it. Put new sprockets on there. One of the things I found when I took these tracks off, there's a cover right here. This cover. All right. I don't know if you can see up in there, but where that track rolls over that cover at the back there, it is real tight, and it had actually rubbed a hole through those covers. You know, I asked Bobcat about it, and they say, "Oh well, your sprockets are wore out." And I was like, "Well, they're not wore out. I've seen tracks and sprockets worn a whole lot more, and I guess they've really rubbed holes in theirs." But putting the new tracks and sprockets on it gave it the clearance where the track doesn't rub, but it just seems like there's not much space up there. The new styles, they do a little different. They don't have that issue, but that's my one gripe about it. But really, you know, for what I've done with it, I put a couple 100 hours on it since I've had it. I've got some different attachments that I use. I've got a 4-in-1 bucket. I've got a tree shear, and I'll take you guys over here my trailer and show you that. I got a Grapple too, a little story behind that, but there's the shear, and this is an awesome tool from Quick Attach. The only complaint, you know, you can't really cut them off flush at the ground that easy, but man, it'll cut some trees. And you know, I use it just as much for brush piles as I do for clearing trees. You know, if you don't want stumps, of course, it's a lot easier to get a stump up with a tree attached to it when you get that leverage. So, you know, cutting the trees and come back digging the stumps, it's easy to just take it all down. But what this thing will do is you can take down, you know, some trees and stuff. And I mean, it'll do like I think a 12-inch tree. So we're not talking about, you know, these big pines like this. Now, that's a different story. But you can clip those trees up and you can make a nice, neat brush pile that when it burns, there's very little rounding that up. You know, you throw a 40-foot tall tree down and burn it, well, then you got to come back and round it up, pile it up again. But you clip that thing up and you can grab it and stack it. It does a great job. Here's my grapple I got, and I got it cheap at auction, and it does the job, but you can tell there I've already bent one of those teeth down right in the middle. I don't know if you can tell, but you know, it does all right. It's not, I really want a demo bucket, but you know, I get by with this grapple. It was fairly inexpensive. I think I gave $1,000 for it at an auction, brand new, and it's not built very well. But again, if you know the limitations of what you got, then you know not to beat on it too hard. You're not going to really use this as a root rake and go through and dig up stumps and roots and stuff like that. Not any big stuff. And of course, my machine's not really big enough to do that. And here's my trailer that I got. It's a Kaufman tilt deck gooseneck trailer. 26 foot, I believe, 15,000 pound rating on it. And I love it. It pulls great. I love the tilt deck. Got the tilt deck so I can drive up on it with nothing on the front of my machine. And I can pull up here just like I dropped this off. I can back off. I'm pretty nervous when it comes to running that machine without something on the front, because you guys know that, man, those things, they get all the weight in the back. You can roll one over backwards in a hurry. If you're not careful, you can screw yourself up pretty good on a skid steer. And you know, a trailer with ramps, when you come up those ramps and you have to kind of break over to get on the trailer, it gets pretty dicey. But with this tilt deck, you can do it and feel comfortable doing it, and it's nice. I like it. Plus it's low, pulls real good, long enough to carry several attachments. Back to the machine. Now, this is my first machine, and really like it so far. I chose this size machine for a couple reasons. One, it's versatile. It's 74 horse, and it does have some exhaust treatment stuff on it, but it doesn't use DEF. And I'm no stranger to the equipment world and after treatment and exhaust stuff, and I didn't want those added components. Now I know you know the horsepower's not there, but I like the limited exhaust components in this model. Second reason is the size of it. It's big enough to do what I want and small enough to get into places to do some tight work. It's fairly light compared to, you know, it weighs, I think it's 8,000 pounds, whatever, that, you know, it says it dry weight. Probably weighs a little more with those wide tracks. Those wide tracks are heavy compared to the narrow tracks. You know, looking at them, they're a lot heavier. But the size and the weight, the horsepower with the, you know, engine after treatment, and the cost of it, you know, it was reasonably priced compared to some of the larger models with the hours that were on it. And it's been a very good machine. I have no complaints about it thus far. You know, it handles that brush mower just well enough for me, and I like it. I like it. So let's go in the cab real quick, kind of show you what I did in here. Nothing too extravagant, but main thing is that camera screen. I built this little bracket and I had to reinforce a little bit, but it's right down there where, you know, I've got a rear view mirror. I didn't put that mirror in there. It came with the machine. It was on it. But yeah, that rear view mirror is nice, but it always seems like I'm never using it, because I'm always focused on what's going on in front of me. You know, what I'm doing with the bucket or the cutter or whatever I got on there. And as silly as it sounds, looking up is pretty dang inconvenient. Why? I don't know, but it's just kind of inconvenient. So I mounted my camera screen there, and that way whenever I need to look at it, I can just look down or just glance left and see it, and then to go back to what I'm doing in front of me. And it's right there close and convenient, and other than looking up at a rear view mirror, and plus, you know, the view out that mirror is a little bit it's limited. You know, you can see behind you, but you're not really seeing as much as what that camera's showing you. A lot of people put their screen up there. You know, I figured I'd be banging my head on it getting out and everything else, and I put it there, and it's nice. I like it. First iteration of that bracket, it kind of shook real bad. I had to add this little brace in there, and that stiffened her up where she works nice. I got a switch for it right here. Flip it on, and there it is. I know there's a bunch of glare in here you can't really see, but I'll take my word for it. It works good. But anyway, that's the machine. You guys got any further suggestions for anything to improve it? But main thing I'd like to do is figure out a way to keep the hydraulics cooler, but I don't know without adding an external cooler that really be able to do that. So anyway, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna set you guys up on the trailer there, and we're gonna do some mowing. So we got started here, mainly trying to just get it knocked down and see what we're working with. Probably back drag all this one more time. I want to get it busted up real good, nice where you could get a tractor in here and mow. Biggest problem, you know, there's humps here, there's dips. You know, I mean, this was a loading deck when they logged these woods. But look at this tree. I mean, that was a massive tree. And it's perfect. I want to get you guys a little bit closer to the action, and we'll set you right here on this stump. Alright guys, so this is turning out pretty nice. This stuff's been here a while, so it's rotten. You know, the biggest downfall is that the ground's so uneven, but I mean, that's expected. I'm gonna finish over here, and I'm gonna go through the trees a little bit, and then there's a road you can see that goes out through there. I'm gonna get that. The landowner eventually wants to get all this cut and have this nice broom straw. You see that little patch right over there, which is what, you know, my mower struggles in, that kind of stuff. But anyway, the goal is to get all that coming up in here, have it real nice and clean, get all these gums out. You can see over here where it's been done in the past, and this was just too rough to get over and spray. You know, all this debris left from logging, which, you know, shout out to Rut Manufacturing. That mower, it does a good job. It's heavy duty, and you know, it tackles this pretty easy, which, I mean, that's easy stuff to mow. But you know, later on I got a lot of work here to do, but we'll get into some bigger stuff this green, and you'll really be able to see what it can do. And kind of like I say, I almost feel like I get myself in trouble because it can do more than what I really want to do. But you know, when it's there and it looks better with it gone, you just go ahead and take it out. It's not too hard on it. Take your time and go slow. But this is looking good. I'm going to shut the camera off because, again, like a rookie, I only got one battery. I want to be able to show you guys the end result. So I'm going to jump on here and finish this up, and we'll see you when I get done. Well guys, we finally finished up here at the loading dock. It took about 3.5 hours. Ended up doing a little more than intended to on this iteration of clearing these woods out. But anyway, it looks nice. I wanted to walk you guys through it, but it's storming like crazy, and I don't even want to get out because I'm gonna get soaked. But just try to see if I can pan it around. So there's the big stump that I had you guys on earlier when I was cutting over in here. And what I did that was more was over in this area around all these trees here. Ended up cleaning all that out. And I'm gonna open this door real quick. Maybe you'll be able to see a little better, but I ain't gonna leave it open too long because I don't want to get soaking wet. But that's what we got. Like I say, this corner over in this area, I went through all those trees, but I think it looks good. I think it worked out well. But anyway, I'm gonna probably end up getting soaking wet here. So you guys got to give me a break because I'm gonna be editing this video for the very first time, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, well, as usual, after I got everything all squared away, cleaned off, and put up, rain stopped. But this is the finished product. I think it turned out nice. All those old sweet gums gone, and of course you have to stay on top of it with herbicide or they'll come right back. But at least we got all the old wood from the loading deck mulched up and scattered out, and you can go through it with a tractor now, except for those big guys. I can't do anything with that, but yep, it looks good.